We're here with Revolution Steel. Here we go. So I'm going to get you guys to introduce yourselves, what you do here.
Daniel Starr, the field operations manager. So I'll take care of everything, scheduling, anything that's going on with the field, any issues, just overseeing everything running smoothly. I grew up on the East Coast. I've done this since I could push a broom. My dad had a company, so we did everything from electrical, plumbing. The only thing we never touched on was HVAC, but we did everything from the ground up with me, my brother, and my dad. So this is really cool to be a part of something like this, building custom homes. Yeah.
That's awesome. Mike?
My name is Mike Tarnell. Been with Revolution Steel for 6 years now. Been growing rapidly. I'm the production manager here.
Everything that's happening in that factory is you, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, it's a culmination of the team, but
Yeah.
it's that's the baby right there.
Fantastic. Ben?
Hi, Ben Starr. I'm the operations manager. I've been here for 6 years, and I pretty much handle everything on the front end now, the modeling, the coordination, the communication with the engineer, a lot of that stuff. And I grew up on the East Coast with my brother doing home remodeling with my dad. He taught us how to do everything. We dug footings to pull the electrical, the plumbing, the framing, all the way to the finished work. We did it the hard way. Stick build the trusses. We didn't even have a truss package. So, kind of jumping into Revolution Steel and being able to plan it all out and think ahead and, do it in a different way is really interesting to me because, it felt like when I was growing up, we always argued that there was an easier way to do things. And my dad just said, it's construction. It's always hard kind of thing. And I'm proving them wrong today.
We're just going to talk about Revolution Steel and how it got started. I mean, Mike has told us a little bit about the two companies. There were separate companies, Revolution Steel and Arcadia Builders.
Started out, we had two owners, the Ryans. The one background, Ryan Patton, he is a general contractor for Arcadia Builders. Ryan Larkin, they met. His background was more of large-scale manufacturing for custom furniture, millwork. They had the same kind of vision that the construction industry has a lot of room for improvement. And with the idea from the manufacturing standpoint to construction, that little marriage, cold form steel seemed like the next avenue. And it was pretty cool to, have those two minds come together and, give us the opportunity to create this company.
Were you were with the company when the roll forming machines were bought? So is that what you said earlier?
Correct.
Yeah. And you were given, all of you were given the machines, and then you're going to figure out how to make it work.
It's funny. I actually, I was doing electric at the time, and I actually was hired. Me and my boss, we came over to hook up the power for the machines because we all kind of everyone works in these close circles here, in construction. And so the trailer or the machine was in the back of a trailer at the time, and because I think that was the original vision. When I showed up, they were telling me how they were gonna take the machines out to the job site with in the back of a trailer, and they were gonna print the panels on the job site. And so that was my first, little run-in with Revolution Steel. And, I saw the machine and I kind of was like talking about what it did. And I thought it was the coolest thing in the world, to be honest. I was like, man, there's a machine that you can design parts on the computer and then they print, cut the size, and you just pop it together. So to be honest, back then I was extremely jealous. And I thought that, how cool it would be to go to work for Revolution Steel and do something like that. And so I hooked up the power for it, and we had a couple pieces of pizza and we left. So that was the first time I saw it.
Wow. And then how did you come to join Revolution Steel? A bit of a segue there.
Ryan called me up one day and he said, "Hey, do you want to come and try to do some custom framing?" I said, "Yeah, sure, why not?" I was doing trim work at the time, some wood, baseboard stuff like that, and I love doing woodwork. And to be honest, the first day going to Revolution Steel, I came home extremely upset. I didn't know what I just walked into. In my mind, we were kind of just manufacturing parts, and I felt like I was stepping into a manufacturing job. And so it really felt like a step down from what I was doing.
And then how did it change for you?
He met me.
I met Mike and we started hanging out. No, I saw the vision. I saw what we were trying to do. And, not everybody, Ryan Larkin had his set of skills and Ryan Patton had his set. And I don't think either of them I think I saw it in a different way. And so like, because I grew up doing home remodeling construction and and dealing with a lot of difficult situations, I saw what could be, I guess, and at the time it wasn't where we're at now, but we're getting a lot closer to what I thought we could be doing back then. And so it was really cool. I stuck around because I wanted to see it play out, because I could tell that, the two Ryans, I don't think they could have done it, by themselves. That, the stuff that Mike and I went through just to kind of get to here it was tough. There's a lot of stuff in it wasn't any one of us couldn't have done it by ourselves. It's been a really big team effort. So
that's great. And you were given the freedom to just explore, experiment, try to come up with solutions.
exactly.
I think circling back to the trailer was,
Yeah.
if our vision was building like sheds or something, or like a normal single family residence.
Yes.
I mean, our first house was 12,000 square foot, hip roof, and 17-foot walls.
Oh.
But it was great. After the first one we built, we got to the end of it and it felt like it went too easy, to be honest. And so that kind of gave us a little bit of a boost to keep going because there weren't many things that went wrong. I guess, the size house that big, a lot of things could have gone wrong and it all seemed to kind of fit together.
Okay.
The puzzle kind of worked. We were like, wonder if this will happen again. And
That's awesome. So Ben, how did you get onto modeling and detailing and all that stuff? Did you just kind of learn on the job?
It took me months before I ever even touched the computer, to be honest. Every project that we do, we fill out tracking in Excel. So we get our full framing package, all the CSV files, and it all gets sorted out into their different areas and respected component styles. And it all gets filled into an Excel sheet. And then as everything's run, we cross it off, because we tracked weight, how much lineal feet was run the day, how many panels were run that day. So we could really improve, find out where we were going wrong and see the opportunities for improvement. Learned about Frame Builder, the framing program that I use, and I like playing around with the computer. And so I started messing around with it in my evenings and just seeing what I could do with it. And because I have such a big construction background with everything, it was very easy for me to pick up and kind of start building houses in 3D. And so I was just something I did at home for fun. And then, so I would take a set of plans, before anyone even asked me to do it, I modeled the whole house just for fun. And I was like, I showed Ryan, and that was it,
Oh, so back to what with modeling, you just basically took it on board and figured it out and could do it.
There was a lot of room for improvement. Yeah.
A lot of opportunities.
There were things that I saw that weren't being modeled in that like I wanted to have done. And so, and I think that's actually how it really started was Larkin found Frame Builder and was like, hey, there's this software that you can use if Alex, the engineer, whoever was modeling our stuff, if there's anything that is wrong or a mistake, hey, there's this simple program that you can use to model a panel. And I think we first tried to use it through, I think in Structsoft, there's something that you can kind of simply draw a panel or something like that. And so that's kind of how it started. And then, it kind of built in, into more. So
How did your role grow, Mike? Because when you came on board, what were you asked to do? Was it what you thought it was going to be?
Management, I have a pretty clear vision of certain things of systematic. I think figuring out the puzzles is a really big attribute I have. And I think it helps keep the flow and the workflow and that type of that atmosphere. So
and creating processes.
He's very smart when it comes to like you said, solving puzzles and making things a little bit better. That's before we ever had anything kind of technological. That was it. We redid the layout on our shop floor I don't know how many times, and it wasn't because like we were told to. To be honest, it was because we wanted to have higher numbers, or better, because because we had to do an end of the day report and kind of show the Ryans what we were doing every day.
Yes.
It kind of drove Mike and I think to do better and to prove them that we could do more. And so we would redo the layout, depending on where you're doing walls or trusses, until we kind of fine tuned it, and we on our small little space. And so that was it. I mean, the stuff that we kind of figured out how to do in that small little area, pretty impressive, I think.
So Dan, you are the site manager.
Yes.
So you make sure that all the panels that are delivered to site are all put together the right way, because Revolution Steel also does installation. Am I right?
Yes.
Yeah. And at what point do you start on site, and what point do you finish, and then hand it over to the GC and go?
So yeah, at first I was a superintendent for Ryan
Yes.
for his construction company, and
Yeah.
he asked me if I wanted to come run the framing company, and I said, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So I've learned that before we get out there, when the slab is ready and everything, the columns are up, so we're ready to start sanding panels. We learned really quick that the concrete's not always right, the steel's not right, so there's a lot of issues to work around.
Yeah.
So we learned that getting me out there before the slab's even done to start marking points at their total station to get an accurate slab layout was very beneficial to make sure we're not cutting panels on site or modifying stuff, because the whole point is to stand it up and it's good. So yeah, learning from, it's not just when the slab's done, from the very beginning, once the dirt starts getting dug, that's when we go out there to start figuring stuff out.
That's fantastic. That's great.
Yeah, I think that's part of the benefit with, when we were starting out, or probably up until these last 4 years, we manufactured and then we went on site and installed. So we were able to see both sides of everything, and where the complications, where the bottlenecks were, and it became a point to where we would have a list of items that were just-in-time manufacturing or critical items, live measurements, and to that it added to the necessity, like, well, maybe we can assist with the preliminary stuff to help make sure when we go to stand up the panels, everything's a nice smooth process, and we're not going on-site manufacturing, because that kind of defeats the purpose of it.
Because you mentioned when you guys started out, the projects are good, but they're nicely spaced out. But now you've got more and more projects. That's kind of,
Yes.
so that was a learning curve for you to get everything sorted out.
Yeah, the rate that we've actually gotten has worked out in our favor is in a few different ways, because at first it was like, oh, we need our next job, when are we getting the next one? But it gave us time to stop, think about how the project went, and how we could do the next one better. And so we wished we had, I don't know, we kept talking about how we need more work, but I don't think we could have handled more work back then. The right amount of work hit us at the right time. And so now it is starting to hit us all at once. There's a lot of people, a lot of phone calls, but it's the right time. We've kind of thought about it long enough, and we're
Really
ready.
cool too, because the guys out there, it's a dying breed, the guys that know construction and can do all this stuff. So we've implemented all the newest technology we can for the robot layout. It'll print the whole layout with labels on the ground, so the guys look at the label on the panel, match it up on the ground, and
Great, isn't it?
it's amazing.
Simplified the whole to be honest, the second house that we did, we were slow. We didn't have any more shop work. We ran out of all our files. We built it all, and we had kind of not let go. We had an install crew that built our first house, and we didn't have our second one right away. So they kind of went their way, and we stayed at the shop and manufactured everything. And so we had a bunch of shop guys that had no construction experience, and Dan and I and Mike had a little bit of construction experience. We took the guys from the shop and we went out and built the second house that we ever did with guys that had no construction experience ever.
So are they still your installation crew, or?
No, the guys that are currently out in the shop right now putting the panels together, and then we do have the crew that we originally started with. Those guys are back out in the field.
But then these guys have got the experience what it's like to install.
Yes.
So now they understand.
And it was a great experience, because there was a lot of things that clicked. A lot of the things that Mike and I were telling them to do, and the time and care and attention on here at the shop. There was a lot of I'm sure people don't know. There's a lot of pushback or like, why are we doing this? Does it really need to be this way?
Yeah.
And so actually taking all that hard work and then going out and putting it up. I mean, the guys were taking pictures after work every single day. They said how awesome it was to go home and show their families, and so it was really cool. I mean, it definitely gave them a different experience and kind of made it go full circle. So yeah, there's a certain set of guys out there that they know exactly why we're doing certain things here, and they appreciate the why we do it, because they know that if it's not done a certain way, it's harder to do in the field. And yeah, and then also kind of being there on site to see people's reaction to what we do. I think it really helps make this a little bit easier to do here at the shop. That, you know,
Instead of just putting panels together, I mean, the palletizing them, they actually got to experience the full build. So,
I know, right? Because so you're not just a manufacturing plant worker. You also know where it's going to go and how it's going to fit. Do these guys get a chance to, sorry, as a segue, get a chance to look at some of these pictures and stuff?
yeah, I love, bringing the footage for the guys. I go out
Yeah,
there
and
and show them
then they
everything.
feel proud. Like,
Yeah.
this is what I do.
Yeah.
Kind of
We
thing.
had a,
Yeah.
we had a team barbecue at one of the projects about a month and a half ago.
Oh,
and
nice.
so it's nice for them to come out.
Well,
They,
that's
you know,
great.
some of them have seen it before, so they
Yeah,
know what it's like and they can expect it. But
yeah,
yeah, it puts everything into scale. And some of the new guys, they're like, "Oh my God, like,
Yeah.
you're a part of that."
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, to take guys, I mean, it's rare to be able to step in a house like this. So to take some guys and give them that opportunity, I mean, it's,
there's guys that do construction their entire lives and they don't ever, get to build something like this. And so
Yeah.
it's a great opportunity that we have, and really soak it in, because this is some cool stuff.
Yeah.
So
So you think this will be like a regular thing that you'll do every so often, have a barbecue before you hand over the keys to the owner?
yeah, at the end of the job, make sure the guys, we show appreciation, like, hey, you helped us, you're the reason why we got this
Yeah.
project done.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we want to get back to the guys.
we
and
love, but
celebrate.
he's a great cook. Every time I hear Mike's got something cooking, I get really excited.
So exploring roll forming technology, framing automation, building with light gauge steel, whatever you call it. So I think who was involved in initially procuring the or researching the machines, etc.
It was Ryan Patton, yeah.
Ryan
He
Patton, yeah.
heard about it and found it, and then him and Larkin met, and they
Yeah.
started talking about it, and like, there's a huge opportunity here.
Yeah.
Construction's been going the same way for so many years, like,
Yeah.
we can do this.
So they researched what's out there
Yes.
and decided on Howick, right?
Yeah, and we're in Scottsdale, or we're in the Scottsdale area, and there's a Scottsdale machine. I think
Yeah.
the thing that was most appealing to Larkin was the software.
The open source.
Yeah, that's it.
Exactly. Yeah, he didn't want to be tied to. He actually had a friend that had a frame cab machine in town too,
Right.
and he tried to convince him to partner up with that. And then Larkin looked into it and realized that there's a lot of stuff that comes along with the frame cab machine, and having a Howick that's more open source. I like it too, because I've always been like an Android guy. I like to have open source. I like to change and have some fun. Yeah. So, that was very appealing, and I think they made the right choice. I love the Howick machine. And to be honest, I've seen the others, and I like the blue. It kind of started, the Howick machines are blue, and so like everything just started going blue.
Awesome, we love it. And Mike, you mentioned about how the team has grown. So when you guys started out, you had a team of how many?
30.
30 in the
No,
factory.
no.
Three.
1, 2, 3.
I wasn't even Dan yet at the time. Dan was.
Only had Paul at the time.
Yeah.
I went from a handful of guys. I think the thought behind it was you could use anyone. I mean, the idea of the machine, you can use anyone off the street to make them successful. I think that got pushed a little to the extreme at times. I think you still got to have a little bit brain on your head. I like to call them, they're all little mini puzzles.
Yeah.
We don't do a lot of repetition, especially in a custom build. So they are unique, and to be able to have that skill set, problem solving is definitely extremely valuable. Yeah, it's a great product, and
Yeah.
we've been able to have all levels.
Before we came here, we might have had 10 guys total, we had
That's guys here or installation from
both kind of to be honest. Yeah, I think we, 4 or 5 at the shop and 4 or 5 in the field.
Yeah.
And then sometimes a lot of guys are cross trained. They'll go back and forth, and that was,
That's great.
something that we're still, we do a lot of is cross training. There's a lot of the guys that will go and do 2 things. There's some guys in the field that'll come here and help manufacture stuff. Things are slow, so and then I think just this year we like quadrupled almost.
Like, sorry, 16 months ago, we had 12 people, and then we're at 40 right now.
That's
Just like overnight, it just seemed like I was like we had so many guys. Yeah.
yeah.
3 install crews.
Yeah.
But we need them. I mean,
Yeah.
to keep up with everything.
Yeah. Because when Revolution Steel was started, it was supplied to Arcadia Builders, who's owned by the same owners. But now you told us that you've also got other builders that come on board, knocked on your doors and say, "Can you supply us?"
Absolutely. I
Yeah.
think we kind of build in the same areas, a lot of the luxury market, and
Yeah.
we start seeing the steel go up, how the speed of it
Yeah.
going up. It's shiny.
It looks good, right? It looks really good.
Rich people like shiny things.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
then people start talking about it.
No one needs a steel house, but because of the market that we're building for right now, everyone wants to compete with their friend. So one guy builds a big steel house, and so he's like, I'm building a house. Yeah, me too. He's like, oh, I'm building mine out of steel. And so then his friend's got to build his out of steel too, because you can't not one up your friend, or at least be on the same level. Because now if your friend builds his house out of wood, it's like,
But it is a better.
yeah, it is hands down for sure.
It'd be amazing if that was our main sell point. Like, hey, we give you perfectly true walls and
Yes.
hallways. You're fire resistant. There's no termites. With engineering, we're hurricane rated. All these nice things. We're renewable or recyclable. There's less garbage on the jobs. All this stuff. They don't care about that. They just like that it's shiny. Like,
But see, you'd think that we could. That's why I would say it's really helped us keep going. Is that kind of mindset towards what people want, because all these benefits as Mike's listed, people, it's they don't really think about that. It's a much better product, and so I think now that we've had the opportunity to kind of showcase the product, now people are starting to really see it and understand, because now more people are talking about it, seeing it, and then they can really it's starting to spread a little bit. So I appreciate the people liking the shiny things to help keep us going, because now a lot more people are, seeing it, that it's an awesome product.
And it's kind of how, even this house, we did the outdoor kitchen, we did the pizza, we did all the framing for the pizza ovens.
Yeah, this little one right here.
And this small stuff. But they're like, oh, let's see how it works, and they dabble with it, and all the fireproof areas, like the weather resistant, like it's a great product. Oh, why don't we start thinking about maybe doing a project with that?
I love it. I'm going to add to our marketing thing, benefits, shiny things. Look how shiny it is. So therefore, come on board. So do you get, Dan, on site, do you get other contractors coming up to you and go, what are you guys doing?
Yeah,
Do you?
Yeah, there's a couple. One of the projects we just finished up. Almost every day, the guy would walk by like, "Wow, this is awesome!" Like, "Wow."
And how quickly it's gone up, yeah?
Yes, they're blown away with it. And then also, I mean, the sub stock too.
Inspectors too.
Inspectors love it. They're like, "Wow, I've never seen anything like this. This is awesome."
Love it.
The inspectors walk on the job site and just hand me the green sticker because
Say, hey, can I look around? Like, that's what you're here for, right?
There's bolt holes in the bottom plate wherever a bolt's supposed to be. Like, everything checks out.
Yeah.
It's really hard for something to stand out. Our
Yes.
web holes every 2 feet, like,
Yeah.
or every foot, and our wall panel connections. Like,
Yeah.
everything it's really easy for something to stand out. It just starts marrying together, and
Yeah.
you're like, oh yeah, this is cool.
That's why we always told the guys too to make sure that everything is done real nice and neat here, because when the inspector shows up,
Yes.
if everything looks like it's been
Yeah.
done right, then they're good,
Well thought of.
one of the
Consistent.
one of the projects we just finished up, we sold it to a billionaire, but he walked onto the project and he looked around and he was like, wow, it's like, this is cool.
Yeah.
This is really amazing. And for somebody like that to see what we're doing and think it's impressive, I mean, that's pretty cool.
Do you get a lot of owners walking on site to see, or they just don't, they just want to see the finished product?
The owners, like superintendents, but like homeowners that have other houses in the area, they walk by almost every single day. They love, wow, this is awesome. I wish I built my house out of steel.
That's
I wish this is so cool.
Yes, nice. Oh, very cool. Because you guys are in the space that's really different. Because in the industry, we talk about repetition, modules, and this is where you gain the most benefit, using framing automation. If you're building group home builders, a bunch of houses that are kind of similar, but mass customization is sort of the word that's being used out there for building a lot of homes. You guys, every single home is different, but it works for you as well. So we can flip it around and go, it also works. If you're building ginormous homes that are custom made.
The trades, the plumbers, I mean, we box out behind sinks and everything else, just try to make everything easier throughout the whole project. So it speeds the whole project up, not just through the framing, but to the end, because everything's straight. The baseboard guys don't have to scribe and do everything. And everything's perfect.
So our biggest goals is to try to figure out how to make everyone's job easier in front of us too, because I know how hard it is to do everything after we're here. And so it's like, what else can we do to help make the next, we do the lighting layout on the floor, we do the outlets and the lights. Like Dan said, we plan out for plumbing locations. I'd love to plan out even more for these guys. And then at the end of the job, we always circle back and say, hey, what could we have done better? What is there any, do you have any tip, things that you think or suggestions that you could, help us out with to make your job a little easier on the next one?
At first the subs are like, oh man, steel, like this is gonna be hard running all our stuff. But after working with us, they're like, wow, now they're excited to come work with us because we know that we care about their process and how they do.
They were kind of standoffish at first. Like, we're gonna go to a framer's office and like, okay, where's that? And then by the end of it, it's a 45-hour meeting, and then Ben's like, oh, like, come back, we'll do it again. We'll do a revision when we get the model. Like, but you clearly see complications prior to. They don't realize how beneficial just a 3D image.
Yeah, these guys,
especially HVAC.
They all come in here now, all the trades, the HVAC, the plumber, electrician, they come and sit down with me at the computer. We talk about what they're doing. They'll give me their notes or whatever they've done. We incorporate it into what we're doing, and hopefully that translates out in the field and makes their job a little bit easier.
That was what I was going to ask, is that if you involve them in the design detail phase that you do, so now everybody knows what's going on and they're working off the same model, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And that's when you're building a house, that's how it should be. You're a team out there. We're not building it as separate pieces, where all of us should come together and try to figure out how to make it as easy as possible for everybody else. And so that's so I know that we all like to do that. When at the end of the day, if any one of the trades can come up and say, that we made their job a little bit easier, then it makes us feel better. It's nice. It's nice to know that when these trades come into a house, that they kind of have a plan or, an idea about what they're walking into, rather than it just kind of being blind.
So what was Arcadia Builder? What were they using? Were they using wood initially?
Timber.
So do you have any comparison to like when they used to build with timber?
See, that's a tough one. We've always been very price competitive with timber. I think it allowed us to, having Arcadia, being able to go through some of our trials and tribulations, learning. We were, we probably weren't profitable because of that. It took longer than expected. We absorbed a lot during that time, so we were price competitive. It helped out, probably showcased the Arcadia builders a little bit better, because they were standing out now because they were different. Their houses are made of steel, and I think we've all kind of grown together.
Yeah, that's amazing.
It also kind of pointed out with wood. I mean, you can cut wood studs and you can fit to it, and it kind of, when we came on site, it pointed out, hey, like the concrete guys need to do better. Like everyone, let's produce a good product.
Yes.
It's not let's just cut it to where we can and
Yeah.
make things work. It's
Yeah.
like, no, this needs to be right. This
Yeah.
needs to be good.
Yeah.
We try to get as accurate as we can.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
pushed everything. I think
Yeah.
it's helped keep some tighter timelines for install.
I think we're kind of changing a little bit how, especially a lot of the GCs that we work for, and maybe even some of the architects now, how they kind of look at the project and the construction process. Because, until we, were started doing what we're doing, nobody, everyone kind of, the plans were done and they were given all, and that was kind of it. The architect shipped it off, the GC started going, and we've kind of brought everybody back into the conversation a lot sooner into the process. And so I think a lot of these, and that's been a big learning process for these GCs, is how much information that they have to have ahead of time, because they've been so used to not needing to know what the door size was until that door was being built. And so it's really, I think, kind of changed their whole front end process. I know Ryan's company for sure, but I know there's a couple other companies that we're working with that now their amount of focus on the front end is extremely shifted to making sure that the house is gonna go smoothly. And so it's been
It's
fun.
not build then design. It's, let's build it right from the first time.
Digitally first, yeah.
Yeah, I think we can, with all these little critical spots, we've probably eliminated 95% of it. It is still a custom home. There are still some random changes, even after we step off, that, we may circle back and bring a small team out too, but it's okay. And we're, we want to be that company that wants to continue working with people.
Yes.
And why we're open to always just.
We like bringing everybody in together as a team. Like you look at the process, and it's like everyone's building this house. They show up, they do their little thing, and they leave.
Yes.
They come and they go, and we make them all come to us before it starts, and we're like, this is a team thing, because if just like anything in life, it's easier with a team, and things go a little smoother.
And the subs that experience working with you, they realize this is a better way of doing things. So they start talking, spreading the word. And
Exactly.
yeah, no, that's great. Hey, Mike, you mentioned something about when we first arrived that you noticed that there's more companies doing roll forming, or something that you feel like is that sort of an observation of the market here, or just kind of?
Well, we've seen a couple in the luxury neighborhoods as well. I just getting from the random Instagram feed, social media, that type of stuff as well. There's more interest in it, and it's exciting. I know where they've started. I think a lot of people form their company more off repetition and consistency over and over. So where they can really maximize their cycle times and all that type of stuff, it's
And a lot of companies are still doing stick framing, not studs. And it's like,
Yes, that's right. Stone track, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's-
they just cut it on site.
to
Just
make like a little square
Yeah.
building, they're taking months, and it's
Yeah.
like, just
it doesn't
what?
make sense. Yeah.
helps appreciate what we've done even more. Starting, we just started for the extreme and went for it.
Is there sort of an end goal with numbers, or you just kind of keep pushing hard and growing the company and then see where it's going to take you? Do you guys have?
I think we all kind of wanted to keep it, more family oriented, not have a couple companies throughout the United States or
Not too
anything.
big,
Yeah, so just keep a core group of guys and
Yeah.
stick to what we're good at.
Because what you're good at is this, and getting everyone involved.
Colorado, we got a couple that we have opportunities to panelize everything, ship it out, and then so we have a couple we can either train some guys out there to have opportunities. So if we have more projects out there, we know that there's a crew of guys that can do what we can do. And then also, just panelizing stuff and shipping it out to them. There's huge opportunities.
We're open to expanding a little bit more, but you definitely you don't want to lose control of that process, because the quality, can diminish. I don't know. I'm not saying it would, but until our process is 100% dialed into where we know it's perfect, and that may not ever happen. But then I don't think it's smart to try to expand and to do more, because then you don't want to see anything diminish and,
No.
people talking in a negative way. So yeah, we like what we're doing. The Phoenix market is perfect for what we do, these size homes. And, I think we're going to keep doing these cool ones.
I'm listening to you guys talk, like you guys kind of think similarly in terms of where you want to take this and while you're working in your respective areas. I think that's really good. And you realize that you found kind of a sweet spot and you kind of can grow within this sweet spot, but you don't want to just push it too hard either. I think that's remarkable. Thank you so much for your time, Dan, Mike, and Ben. I think
Thank you.
This is a great conversation, so I really appreciate your time. Thank you.